Google Pixel 9 is as close to an ideal Android iPhone experience as one can fathom right now. I don't say that lightly, I really like this base Pixel 9. So let's review this right now. I'm Alex from the Hypnotics. Here's our full review. So since the first Pixel came out all those years ago, I'm very familiar with the Google Pixel experience, and the Pixel 9 is just an ultra refined version of those phones. You can tell Google has evolved over the years to make a very solid product. This base model has Google's Tensor G4 chipset, a proprietary SoC, and that is supported by 12 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage for this base model. 12 gigabytes of RAM is now the pillar to support this G4, as all models have 12 gigabytes as default. With everyday usage, I really can't tell much of a difference in terms of performance drop-off from Qualcomm's flagship direct competition. I've seen the occasional hiccup on here where an app closes by itself, or there's like a stutter, a free stutter, and it resolves itself after a couple seconds. I've had that also on Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 phones, so it's not necessarily a Tensor thing. Android 15 might have something to contribute to these things. For example, I spent a lot of hours playing Pokemon TCG Pocket. I've streamed video feed of my child's Cradlewise crib. I've even used my phone to watch Netflix and stream videos more often than I do on my other phones due to my circumstances. And the Pixel 9 has sustained everything I've thrown at it in an effective and satisfying manner. So while on paper this phone isn't as close to being powerful of output as other flagship competitors, I do find it plenty capable in terms of the real-life marker. This smaller Pixel features a 6.3-inch 1080 by 2424p display, so it's a 1080p resolution, 29 by 9 aspect ratio, OLED panel that has a 422 ppi count. So that's a decent PPI count with an OLED panel. It does look good. It's respectable as a display, gets decently bright, and it looks sharp to look at media and entertainment purposes. It's 120 Hz refresh rate, and the Pixel 9 screen is just basically about what you would expect from a phone in the market right now. On the one hand, the screen size is relatively comfortable for one-handed usage. It is smaller compared to most phones out there now, so it's also not too narrow of a viewing aspect ratio, and I think it gets the job done well. And of course, it wouldn't be a Pixel experience without some of the native Google experiments thrown onto their flagship phones. You know, the whole AI stuff is everywhere, and Google obviously has this with Gemini, their assistant. And now this year, the company is really pushing this at me photo taking feature in their marketing material. Basically, you use the camera, take a picture, hand it off to another person, you stand in the shot, and you take a picture and at yourself into it using AI, and it basically looks like the two people were in the same photo together at the same time. So, you know, it's cool that you can do these things very quickly and very easily, and you factor this in with other traditional quick fix photo editing features of yesteryears, like the swapping faces between pictures and blurry messes. And on paper, the Google Pixel phone makes photography seem very easy, and that's the whole point of a phone like this. All these features, they actually function relatively successfully. Whether the results are convincing will depend on the level of the user and how picky they are with what they see. A professional photographer obviously wouldn't like something like this. But if you remove all of that stuff, the camera quality is still what you would expect from a Google phone. The Pixel 9 is pretty much what you would expect from yesteryear phones as well. A 50 megapixel f1.7 wide camera and a 48 megapixel f1.7 ultra sensor share that spot together in that phone's rear camera bar. That's a little thicker now, and it's kind of protruding out a little more. Don't really like that design as much, although I do think it looks a lot cleaner than previous years. The camera hub is huge. Overall, I think the camera does a good job of picking up exposure no matter what scenario the user finds themselves taking a picture under. Low light performance is hit or miss here and there, but overall, they do a relatively good job of processing the image so that it is something usable for your social media accounts. Now, my phone is this pink color. I like phones that stand out, and I do appreciate Google's color palette expansion over the years. There's a premium touch to this phone that makes the Pixel 9 feel like a flagship, and I do think that's great because the aluminum frame holds up the 2 sheets of Gorilla Glass Victus 2, the display, and of course the back. The phone is comfy to hold in the hand thanks to that frame. It really has a good grip to it that you can hold on. It's not slippery. I'm not a fan, once again, of the camera hump, but it's zeroed in on it since the Pixel 6 design, and they've locked on it. It's kind of thicker, but it is what it is. So ultimately, I do think the Pixel 9 is a very refined product that gets a bit of an unfair reputation based on this in-house processor that Google is designing with the Tensor, and enthusiasts of the genre have, I feel like, slept on this phone due to strictly benchmark purposes. If you use this in everyday application, it is a very smooth, terrific operating phone that just fits into your lifestyle really well. Even if you remove all of those hashtag marketing terms like Gemini AI and the Pixel drops, the phone itself is absolutely a solid offering from a hardware and a software perspective. Once again, I'm Alex from the Subnautics. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of the Pixel 9, and I'll see you in the next video.